don't give up. Just if you can do a post or two a week. My photos don't do as well as they used to. Like or now even as my videos do. If I say video every post you can. Every post has to be a video because of the exposure of all the eyes on it. Don't post homes all the time. Like, what do you like to do? People are going to want to know you and build that trust through video. But if all you're posting is homes, they don't know about you.
Simplifying social media. Today, I am joined by Zoraya Vela. Thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to chat. I love all your purple stuff and all your content, so I'm a big fan.
I know we're matchy on the purple, right? Well, before we dive into social media stuff, I'd love for you to tell the listeners a little bit about team size, production, how long you've been in real estate, just for some context of your business, and then we'll talk about social media.
Yeah, so I am a real estate agent in Houston, Texas, and surrounding areas. I've been in real estate 5 years. I always say I'm new, kind of. I feel like I'm still new, kind of, but we're always learning. I have created a team this year, and we are 14 agents now. Me and another agent friend of mine, we're owners of the team. And I am also president for the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals for the North Houston chapter. In Houston, we have 3 chapters. They're a nationwide organization with 40 chapters nationwide.
What prompted you to start a team this year?
Well, it all is because of my social media. I would get a lot of messages from girls telling me, "Hey, Zoraya, I'm about to get my license. Do you mentor?" A lot. Locally, a lot of agents, would come to me and say, "I just got my license," or, "Hey, I'm not happy. I want to go to your brokerage." And it wasn't because of my brokerage. It was mainly because they see me and my post and they think it's my brokerage. Yeah.
That's the beauty of the algorithm, right? Like everyone thinks it's such like a bad word, but like it does such a good job of attracting if we are vulnerable enough to put ourselves out there.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, that really prompted me I said, well, I did get a few agents come on to my brokerage where I used to be. And, it does take a lot of time. So this way it's more of both of us are committed to each other. It is, we have a contract with each other. It's more of a, more benefiting for both. It's a win-win for both. So I had to create the team so we can both get something out of it. And so, yeah.
How exciting. So what's like the 5-year plan?
Oh my gosh. I live like day to day because there's so much going on like today, and my kids are off for summer. So it's work, kids, and I don't even think about 5 years from now. Actually, I would say becoming a broker, the goal is to at least get 50 agents under us, get our brokerage license. My teammate, business partner told me the other day, "Zoraya, you have the sales to be a broker, right?" And I was like, okay, I never check. I never checked that because I just wasn't thinking about it. But actually, we did talk about it. And yeah, the brokerage, office, 50 agents. And yeah, that's one of my 5-year goals.
So exciting. I'm so excited for you.
I
can't wait to watch it happen.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, so let's shift gears. Let's talk about social. So what role does social media currently play and what platforms are you on?
So I love mainly Instagram. Second would be Facebook. A lot of my sales do come from Facebook and Instagram. TikTok, I just love just because it's TikTok and entertaining, and I feel like it's just a little more exposure for me, but I cannot be as consistent on there as I am on my Instagram or Facebook. But yeah, I think mainly Instagram and Facebook for me.
And what are you currently like posting, doing? Are you posting consistently? Do you have a content plan? What does that look like on the back end?
Yes, so I do use their Instagram scheduling. Sometimes I schedule my posts, and I just, I know for the week, like I'll sit down and schedule a reel or two for the week. But really, I don't really have a plan. I look at all your stuff, and it's so planned in like your calendars and stuff, but I really don't.
I don't I don't pre-plan my personal content. It's interesting because whenever I try to, I feel like it's inauthentic, and I feel like by the time it's like ready to post, it like doesn't make sense anymore to post it. I don't know. I've never had success doing that for myself, and I feel just like better posting that day, like creating and posting in the same day.
Yes. Yeah. So definitely I do just make time. Like if I can't post it right at that moment, either the next day or that night, or I don't have a specific, I just don't post at night though, actually, but I do daily. I set time apart to just post it. But one thing is I don't like very organized, or, there's like a certain feel to the page, or like I don't know, it feels like too commercial for me. People are not going to connect with me. Just, like hire me as your realtor post or something like that. Like just, with text and words, I feel it just looks too businessy or something, and people can't connect to that. So
are you referring to like Canva graphics?
Yes, graphics. There we go. Or like flyers.
So if I'm understanding correctly, you're more about kind of authentic video?
Yes, I love video. I love more, where they can, showing my face is a big thing for me. So, that's been big for me in video. So showing myself is big.
And that's a big marketing thing with research as far as connecting to the brand. It's way easier to connect to a face versus like an image without a face.
Yes.
It's just easier to connect to the brand that way. Tell me a little bit about your ROI with your social media marketing versus other forms of marketing, or are you doing other forms of marketing?
It really is all Instagram. And I would say about 90% of my business is from social media, either Facebook or Instagram. I have, when I moved here to Houston from South Texas, I didn't know anybody. I raised my kids, became a realtor, and then I said, okay, how am I going to get clients? What am I going to do to, I didn't have the big budget to do all the stuff that my broker was telling me to do, like the farming and, mail outs and all of that. And I definitely did not want to cold call. I don't like cold calling. So I said, how am I going to do this? I started just posting, being consistent every day, posting. I would post my work. I would post open houses, tours of homes, and and it just came. I got a Facebook friend asked me to help her, and then it just went from there. It's just everyone has come from social media.
How cool is that?
Yes, I know.
Social media is free, right? So that's so cool.
I just find it so amazing that there's like millions of people on the palm of your hand. Like they're just right there. Like, what you put out there is what you're going to get. That's what I like.
It's unprecedented. Like people 20, 30 years ago didn't have access to this. And I mean, who knows what it's going to be like 20, 30 years from now if we're even going to have this kind of access to this kind of marketing. So it's such an exciting time. So around what year was this when you first got started with your social media marketing?
2018. But prior to that, I was already huge with social media. I've had Facebook since like it started. From the MySpace days, I was always huge with social media. So it wasn't new to me. I was just like, how am I going to make it work for me and my business? And just the thought of like, when my brokers were telling me to do the mail outs or all the farming and all that, and I was like, but everyone's here, everyone's on my Facebook, everyone's on my Instagram. So that's how I took off. And I add people randomly too on my Facebook, and they just become my clients.
So tell me a little bit about that. How do you find who to add?
Yeah, so I tell my team because they do ask me. They're like, I mean, do I add people? How do you just become friends? And yes, just add them. I also have a Facebook private group that I created that's called the Mom Slayers, and it's all local moms, and that's one of my requirements, to be local. So they're all local moms. I got about 500, and I'm keep growing it. 500 moms in the area. I do local events, so I did like a local boutique and invited all the moms in the group or people in the group. So, I think that if I keep working that group, because I started when I first started real estate, but then I let it go. And then I said, oh my gosh, I have all my moms here and I haven't paid attention to them because my career took off and, I had no time to take care of the group. But I'm like, I need to be more consistent with my group and find things to do. So like 2 weeks ago, I asked on there, hey, let's go. Who wants to go have coffee? I'm going to go here. And two of the moms said, I'll join you. And so we did that. So, just being connected and building the relationships in that private group.
I love that. Events are such a fun way to take social media off. Wait, let me reword that. Are such a fun way to take your people off of social media and into the real world. And I like the idea of funneling them from a public social media platform like Instagram into a private, local, private group, and then invite them to an in-person event because it feels a little bit more exclusive that way.
Yes. And make it, yes, I do love social media, but I do love meeting people in person. I love talking to people. So that's huge for me to be able to connect, face to face in person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I get that vibe from your videos too, which means that you're being authentic in your videos, which I think is great.
Thank you. Yes.
So do you have any tips for people on how they can make sure that they are showing up in video the way that they are in person?
Yeah, I guess I would say start off with, because a lot of my agents too on my team, they're like, oh, I don't want to show my face. I don't want to be on social media. Just, and we can't be hard on ourselves. And some of my videos are not the best that I don't want, but I just throw them out there. I tell them, hey, well, even if you don't want to show your face, do a home tour. You love cooking, maybe show us what you're cooking, show yourself stirring the pot or talk to us. At least let us hear your voice.
Yes.
Something, just show what you're doing. You don't have to put the camera towards yourself, but show what you're doing.
I love that, because starting somewhere will get you at least comfortable with creating. Mm-hmm. I always say social media marketing is a way to get more eyes on what you're already doing in your business. So, or not even in your business. Like you said, if you're cooking, you can incorporate cooking into your brand. Like I have a client who has just niched down to like home in general. So she has real estate, but she also has baking as one of her like niches.
Yes.
And so she likes to show off recipes. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like lean into what you enjoy, because people like to watch people who are passionate.
Yes. Like incorporate. Yeah, that is exactly what I tell them. Like what is it that you love to do? Do you love to go bowling? Then do a video of your bowling activities, or whatever you like. I feel I'm a little bit of everywhere. I love connecting with people. So I do a lot of restaurant videos. I do get people to say, Zoraya, you want to come over here? I have an agent friend of mine that I met. He's business partner owner with another restaurant, and we had not connected, but he sent me a message and says, Ray, you can come over here. I'm gonna get you some free corn dogs. Do a video for me. So I took my family. We went and did video, and I've done videos at restaurants, and I got connected with other restaurants, and one of them became my client, one of a Peruvian restaurant in the local area, and they're my clients now. So, just connecting with people, local news spots in the area. I do videos of that. So
yeah.
mm,
B2B connections are my favorite because
yes.
there's just so many like things you can do to help each other and like become each other's clients. It's so cool.
Yes, for sure. Or local spots. I like, if they're new to the area, I'll go do, like I did. There's a new restaurant, a little small restaurant. They don't offer too many things, but they don't have desserts. They just have the food. But I took them a box of cakes and cookies, just a welcome to the neighborhood, welcome to our area. And, and they love that. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who wouldn't love that?
Yeah.
I'm curious how you feel about this, but I feel a lot of agents, when they first get started, they kind of pigeonhole their content into, I can only post houses. What do you think about that?
Oh my gosh, yes. I always said this when I first started, because I remember telling this title escrow agent that was teaching me, because she used to be a realtor too. And I said, oh my gosh, all I see is realtors posting they're sold and they're sold and they're sold. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. And I know I said that from the beginning. And I want them to see, what else do I do? What connect with me? Like, what do I love? Like my family. I don't post my family on my, I do post them on my stories, but I don't post in my main feed all the time. But, like, what do I love to do? What is Zoraya all about?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like, and I tell my agents too, don't post homes all the time. Like, what do you like to do? People are going to want to know you and build that trust through video. But if all you're posting is homes, they don't know about you. They don't know nothing else about you, but that you sell homes.
Yeah. I had another guest on the podcast that said, everyone's posting pretty homes. What makes you different?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I was like, mm-hmm.
True words. Yeah.
So here's a question. What tips do you have for agents who are just go all the time, who maybe don't really have the time to sit down and create a bunch of content? What shortcuts, what maybe habits they can build into their day to make sure that they are having footage to create at the end of the day?
Yeah, so I know I get that a lot too from agents, and they're always like, well, I don't have the time. I don't know how you have the time. But if you can't do the videos right at the event, say you have a new construction, new town event or new community, do the video, save it for later. Just take the video or do a few clips. Even if you don't want to do video, then just take pictures, which later you can implement them into like a video from CapCut. Maybe do a voiceover and talk about that community. But I would definitely take the photos. If you can't post then and there, do it later. It's going to take an hour of your day, and just take that time to just post.
Yeah, for sure. I think not letting the fact that you don't know what the video is going to look like yet stop you from taking the footage in general.
Yeah.
Like, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
You'll figure it out later. Just at least get something so you have something to work with.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so it's June of 2024. What strategy shifts have you noticed on Instagram recently, the past couple weeks or months?
Gosh, it is always changing,
Always.
Always changing. I'm definitely into I am so definitely into the trending sounds. But let's see. I guess I would say video. I mean, it really went from photos to video, literally. Like, yeah. My photos don't do as well as they used to. Like, or now even as my videos do. If I say video every post, you can. Every post has to be a video because of the exposure of all the eyes on it. It may not have the likes or the hearts that you want, but it's got the eyes. So even if you catch one eye, I always say, hey, that's something. If it only takes one person, just like an open house, if 10 people don't come in, but you got one person to work with.
That's a really good point. If you go into your insights and look at your reach, yeah, like they may not be actively interacting with it, but they're seeing it.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
huge.
yeah, it's huge. How do you go about deciding what to film or what to post in your day to day?
I think sometimes it just depends on my mood, to be honest. It depends on my mood sometimes. And sometimes I just feel like, oh my gosh, I got to get this out there, information about, I don't know, a special down payment program or something. But, and then sometimes I just feel so fun and just doing silly things. So I think it just depends on my mood. But I definitely make it a point to have something every day to post.
Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yes. Yeah. And if I actually, my Instagram Reels is packed with, what are they? The ones that you save, the drafts. It's packed with drafts. So I really have something for every day. I post every day in my stories, that's for sure. I was posting every day and I try to do every day on my page, on my feed, but I have gotten really busy too. And I usually will say, well, maybe I'll just schedule it and just post. But sometimes I forget. Just this year with being president for NAREP has taken a lot of my time. So it has taken a big part of my business a little bit. But it's just this year. I'm just like, this year's almost over. Yes.
Having grace with yourself is a big part of it too. Like as your life ebbs and flows and your business responsibilities change, I think that's a big part as well. What are you posting in your stories? Like what's the difference between a story content versus a feed content for you?
Yeah. So on my stories, I just go wild. I kind of like really let all of what I'm all about in my stories. Stuff that I wouldn't post on my feed, but I post my family. My day-to-day actually goes in my stories. Today I posted about me taking care of my neighbor's dog, which she's out of town. So go let him out of his kennel. Just my everyday food, what I'm eating, where I'm at, shopping, just my everyday. I really get to connect with more of my followers on story because we're chatting, because they'll send me messages and we're just connecting.
I love that. And then something on your feed maybe is a little bit more polished, or what is that? What's the difference there?
Yes, I think on my feed it is more real estate, a little more polished, not as polished, but a little more real estate, more my work.
And what would you say to someone who's kind of just turning their wheels? They're posting consistently. They've been doing it for a few months. Nothing really to show for it. They're getting burnt out. What would you say to them?
I would say definitely, if you can't do every day, do at least once a week, twice a week, and don't give up. It really didn't come for me super fast either. It wasn't until after a year that I was one of the, like I said, I didn't know anybody in the town. I raised my kids. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I really didn't know any mom friends. I started connecting with the moms at my kids' school, but just kept it posting, and it took off after a year of being in real estate. That I got first started with the moms because they followed me on social media, and then it was like, Zoraya, can you help me? I'm gonna buy and sell. I helped a few of the moms when I first started. That's where I started off, and then and it just went from there. Definitely keep trying, give grace to yourself, like you said, but definitely don't give up. Just if you can do a post or two a week.
Yeah. And start a Facebook group.
Yes, the Facebook group is huge. I always, I'm like, I've always said this when I first started the group, that I wanted it to be something where we can do like events and things. So this year I'm trying to get that going. I created that event with the local boutique, and it was huge. So
I love events. I love that so much. Last question. And this is a question that actually comes from my clients that I have a different perspective, because I I'm intermediate in Spanish, but I'm definitely not bilingual by any means. But as a bilingual agent, I'm curious your thoughts on this is how do you decide when to post in Spanish versus English, or are you mainly posting in English? Like, what is that thought process for you?
Oh, that is such a good question. Oh my gosh, because every day I'm like, I need to do more Spanish. Spanish is my first language, and I tell my agents too, because there's another agent friend of mine. She's like, Zoraya, I can't, like, I just don't know what to post. And I'm like, Vanessa, just post it in Spanish. Like, you don't have to speak English. I said,
right.
The majority in Houston are Latinos. Like, we are the majority here. So just post it in Spanish. Don't worry about being English. You're going to attract the Spanish buyers.
Yes.
And I'm just like, and some, she's like, I don't know how to say this word. Or she thinks her accent is very heavy. And I'm just like, well, just do it in Spanish. You don't worry about the English part yet. But yes, every time I'm always like, I need to do more Spanish. That is something I want to work on and do Spanish. Even on my captions, I'm like, I'm going to, type it in Spanish. But then I see the translation thing on there. I'm like, maybe they'll translate.
Maybe I'll translate it for me. It probably will. I don't know.
I see it on Facebook all the time where it says see translation.
Yeah.
Like, just press that little button.
That's so funny. Do you see any different kind of feedback when you do speak in Spanish on your reels?
Yeah, I do, because then it brings like more exposure to more people, right? So like I used to work at a bank years ago when I just had my baby, one child, and the Spanish at the bank, you always have like a goal, like, okay, the bank is like sell 2 credit cards today, or as a teller, you have to do, your goal is meet 2 sales. And the ladies would be like, how do you do it? Well, it's because I'm getting all the Spanish people coming to my line. And so there's more possibilities there to get the sale too, because I'm doing with both English and the Spanish speaker. So, but yeah, so it does help.
Yeah, absolutely. Where can everybody find you?
Well, I am on Instagram at Zoraya Houston Realtor, and my Facebook is Zoraya Vela, and my TikTok is Zoraya Houston Realtor.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Simplifying Social Media. Let's stay connected on Instagram at Realtor Social Media Marketing. And if you're interested in working with me, head over to thesimpletouches.com and see all my social media marketing services for real estate agents. And I'll see you guys on the next episode.